If you want to buy a small but capable drone, there are two options currently, the DJI Spark or the DJI Mavic Pro, but now there is a third option. It's the Mavic Air.
Hello boat bros and sisters, today I'm looking at DJI Mavic Air and I tell you what, it is as windy as that doesn't make sense, but it is as windy as let's go. Now the reason why DJI doesn't have much competition when it comes to drones is not just because the competition is literally dropping out of the skies, but also when you see each new DJI product, you can see how they just keep getting better and better.
I mean, take the controller for an example. Alright, it doesn't have as many features as the Mavic Pro controller, but that has to be more Pro-like, right?
Yes, the Pro has 2 dials versus 1 on the Air, an extra one for exposure comp. The Pro has 2 extra buttons further down too, so generally more stuff.
So what exactly is new with the Mavic Air controller? Well, the control sticks are now removable. You can actually put it in your bag and the sticks don't stick out, and it won't tear you 2 new a-holes when you accidentally sit on it in your back pocket.
It's not just the controller that are made more compact, the charger is too. It flips down to charge up to 4 batteries. Oh, and get the Fly More package if you want to fly more than 21 minutes. I mean, it's little things like that that make you appreciate why DJI is at the top of their game, but that's even before we've gotten to the drone. The more expensive Mavic Pro. Pro means OcuSync 4K DCI, a beast with folding limbs. Spark, small 1080p shooting drone with smart features. If they were to get loved up and make little babies together, it would look like this.
It's small but with a folding design, so it folds smaller than the Mavic Pro and even the Spark because that doesn't fold up. This shoots 4K but with the smart features. This is so small and equal-like. It will fit into the small side pocket of my camera bag.
So what doesn't have that the Pro does have? Well, OcuSync. So yes, this uses Wi-Fi, which some might not like, but you can still get a range of 4 kilometers, which is pretty good. I mean, you say you're not supposed to let it out of your sight anyway, so unless you've got eyesight, which can see to 4 kilometers, I mean, that's a pretty impressive superpower. Okay, I'm telling you, this wind is ridiculous. It's not just windy as how much falling off now. That day the winds were topping out 25 miles per hour, which means, well, I don't know what it means, but it's bloody windy. Don't know if this is going to take off, but this can handle 36 kilometer per hour winds. The review's only just started. Let's not fly into the sea yet. Let's start with SmartCapture. No need to worry about the wind, surely. Use SmartCapture in windless open areas with sufficient light. Oh well, at least I've got good light. Hold your palm out like a Tai Chi master. Just narrowly missed the GH5 there. I mean, I'm doing Mr. Miyagi here, like waxing on and waxing off. Use 2 hands to fly farther away or closer. Push and pull. It's super smart stuff, not in the sense that will do equations and shit, but it's technology that's been used cleverly. It's even better than I remember with the Spark. It's fun if you want to get video of you looking like you're miming drawing a curtain or making a hovering dog sit. I mean, it's like having a digital pet. It's better than a Tamagotchi. They were rubbish. Better than an Aibo. It's even better than a real dog. It doesn't lick its balls and then lick your face. Personally, I have no intention of using the Mavic Air as a Tai Chi buddy or pet. When you have 2 control sticks and a drone that takes 4K footage, I'm going to make it fetch me some sick footage.
The wind was strong that day, but for the air, it was a breeze. Oh my god, that's a lame wind-related pun. It didn't cut through the wind like a hot knife through butter. It didn't reach its top speed of 42.5 miles per hour. It did get slowed down by the wind a bit, but it tried its very best to go in the actual direction that I'm pointing it to go in, and that 3-axis gimbal makes a huge difference if you're coming up from a spar. You can fly about, spin it around, and it will do its very best to keep things nice and steady. It'll keep things steady when you're in control and not so in control. The software really shines when, one, you want to let it fly the drone in a way that most of us can't do, and create smooth, professional looking footage without doing more than a couple of taps of the screen. And two, prevent you from crashing it into something or someone when you want to take control of it with the advanced pilot assistance system. I think that's what it's called.
And it is advanced in the sense that it can deal with things as thin as branches. If it's contrasty, it should avoid it. Alright, we get it. APAS works so you can fly it through trees and foliage and stuff like that and it won't crash. But what if you fly it straight at your balls for some kind of rudimentary high-tech contraception? Let's give it a try. I trust technology enough to put my balls on the line. Might actually want to switch APAS on first. Almost had a sex change there. Okay, right, here we go. I can feel the wind. Holy crap, holy crap. Check that. It missed. Thank God it missed.
Now when you buy a camera, you try not to drop it because that's a lot of cash to splash on one single object. But when a damn thing flies, there's a lot more to worry about than just dropping it. It is gut-wrenching, heartbreaking, ball-shriveling when you crash the damn thing. I've ridden off a Phantom before, it was an accident. Alright, maybe it's because I was idiotically trying to repair a broken area with a bit of copper wire and then crashed.
And the trouble is it drifted, came this side and decided to come home, which is this side, but it went through an object. You know, silver lining, those clouds will look alright, don't they?
Yeah, they look lovely.
And then I crashed my Mavic Pro in a tunnel. Alright, so I was being a bit of an idiot. I was trying to fly the thing through a tunnel while riding a bike at the same time. But the point is, things crash. And the Mavic Air really does instill confidence in you flying the thing without crashing into it while riding, well, maybe not while riding a bike. Just general standing while flying the thing and not crashing it.
As well as the APAS, it has obstacle avoidance sensors everywhere other than the top of it. It's not crash proof, anything that flies in the air can't be, but how safe is it? Only one way to find out. I mean, with this level of idiot proofing, you can practically fly this without looking. As I mentioned before, it uses Wi-Fi to control the thing, and the transmitter is in the foldy little flappy feet thing, apparently to avoid interference, and I've not encountered any interference. The Wi-Fi connection wasn't the worry, and latency is minimal. My main worry was not crashing into the arches, because it's hardly a wide passage to fly through, but the APAS kept correcting the flight path if it felt like it was veering towards the brick wall. If you want to see just how far it can go with Wi-Fi, go watch Locke's video. After this video is finished, obviously. Flight distance limit reached, APAS temporarily disabled. Okay, let's come back. Unlike the Mavic Pro, you can't shoot D-Log, but Cine like D is flat enough to allow you to color grade it. The 4K looks good enough, as good as you'll get from a small drone, and the colours are on point. The 4K comes in a 100 megabits per second package. That's more than the Mavic Pro. The Mavic Pro shoots 4K UHD and DCI, 60 megabits per second. There is a slight difference in the colour between the Air and the Pro. In terms of sharpness, almost seems like the Mavic Pro has a slight edge, but not much at all. Respect has to go to DJI for putting such a capable camera in the model below the Pro. See, with the Spark and the Mavic Pro and this slotting in straight down the middle, this should be an in-between model. This is like a 60 Mark II and not quite GTI. This should be beige, this should be bland, but it's not. Otherwise, with the Mavic Air, there's nothing they've played safe with. It's not wishy-washy, no compromises. They've gone pretty much all out. They could have put 4K 100 megabits per second in it. They've done it. 120 FPS 1080p. They could have done it. They've done it. More safety features, so it makes it less difficult to mash up or mash up your balls. It makes it easy for those getting into drones to get nice looking footage, but yet it doesn't dumb it down specs wise, all in a package that's neater than before. For me, the Mavic Air is the perfect balance of form and function. With a drone like this, it's all about getting you nice 4K drone shots without compromising on whatever activity it is you're doing. It's not going to weigh you down. There's no excuse to leave this at home. It's the ultimate packable drone that you can take with you everywhere. And as they say, the best camera is the one that you have with you.